Yes, it's January and today I'm gonna do a flip through of my reading journal to show you the pages that I've created in October. I know, I'm late with this video. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome, I'm Stefania. I'm gonna start from the yearly pages and then I'm gonna move to the monthly pages. Now, October looks like it was forever ago, so I'm not gonna try to talk too much about the books because maybe I won't even remember exactly what I would have wanted to say. While for the yearly pages, instead, I'm not gonna spend too much time going through them because I think that by now, if you've been following me for a little bit, you know how the different layouts work, so I don't think it's a must to explain them all over again. This is how this page looks around October, so by the end of October I still have to fill in the books that I've read in November and December, and I'm pretty happy because not only I've reached my goal, but I also read more books, and this looks amazing. I'm just gonna do the same in 2025, which is tracking the books according to how many stars I gave them. Book log, I've updated it with the books that I read in October. Reading tracker in October, I've done it again. I've read a little bit each single day. I'm really happy about it, and I'm also happy that there are several days in which I've read more than 100 pages, which is really good. Then I've updated my 2024 books read with the books I read in October, which are these 7. My favorite one that I picked up from October, I put it here and then here, and now I'm starting to feeling like the pressure of putting the November and December books that I've decided to pick up for these 2 months, and then it's time for the battle. I am not really happy about it. Like, I get really excited to do this, but then when it's time to actually do it, it's so hard because I never know what to pick. Favorite books, I still have to update it because I ran out of ink from the printer, and I have still to print the cover of the 5 stars, which, if I'm not wrong, there was only one that was a 5-star, and it's the favorite book of the month. Monthly reads, I've added here all the books I've read in October. Leggiamo con le streghe, I think I haven't read what they picked up for October. I don't remember it. Yes, I haven't actually, because if I'm not wrong, it was a book that was a second book in a series, but I was like, okay, I haven't even read the first one, I'm not gonna join it this month. Well, for Cerbero Book Club, I've ended up reading Vita Nostra. Series tracker, I don't know if something changed, honestly. I guess no, also because I haven't updated it because I've just started a series in October and I haven't had it here. Bingo has been fully filled in. Storygraph with October, I've read 51 books and my goal was 50, so this is what made me think, okay, for next year you can put a higher goal, like you can go from 50 to 60. I think you can do it. Ended up saying, I can already tell you that 2024 ended up with me reading about 65 books if I remember it right, so I think I can do it. I've updated these pages, yes, but I can already tell you, and this was something I said when I set up the yearly pages in 2024, this is a challenge, the alphabet one that I absolutely love, but it's incredibly hard. I never finish it, so I wasn't expecting to do it this year. The other 2, I don't think I've updated it, or yes. Because this is the problem of doing a flip through after several months, which I don't recall if I updated it or if simply the ones I was thinking are in the next months, the books that I've actually used. Anyway, it's still the same situation that was last month, this one, but this year I've decided to give it a try again. I know, I just never learned from my previous mistakes. Let's see if this year I'm gonna do something better. Then I've updated my genre tracker, and again it was a month full of fantasy books, but I've also read an historical fiction and also some romances, so it's not that bad. TBR was the month, like literally October was the first month in which I started with TBR there, and I finished the month with 0 books in my physical TBR, and I'm so happy and proud of myself for that. I just couldn't believe it. I'm really happy. Reading stats, in October I've read 7 books, 2 ebooks and 5 were physical books, 2,317 pages. I've read for 31 days, 1 book in English and 6 in Italian, so that was, let's say, let's look forward my yearly pages, and now we can move straight to the monthly pages. I'm gonna start by saying that if you want to see the plan with me video, it's online. I know you're gonna think, okay, we're in January, why do I care about your plan with me video from October? Because at the end of the day, you can look at any plan with me videos in each single month whenever you want to, and maybe you can take some inspiration from them. So you can find the video in my channel, and the stickers that I've used, they're available in my shop on Etsy, so you can find a link in the description box. Monthly view is gorgeous this month, it's definitely full, and October was sure the month in which I've experienced things for the first time, so first time in which I finished my TBR, first time in 2024 in which I've decided to DNF a book, and was non-fiction one, which was stress-free productivity. It was a pain, people, like I just couldn't read it. I was like almost falling asleep throughout it, so I've ended up giving up that one, but I've started a 12-week here, which I always get it wrong. Sometimes I'm like 12 weeks here, sometimes I'm like 12-week here, you know, I just can't get it with the title. However, the reason why I've decided to read a book is because I wanted to give it a try for 2025, and so I'm gonna give it a try to read in this here basically, yes. And as you can see, the month started with the book that started in September and finished it in October, and then there were several days in which I've read 2 books at the same time, and that's usually because, as I've said before, when I read a non-fiction, I don't go full into it. I usually take it piece by piece, let's say it in this way, and I know that if I'm gonna jump straight into it, I'm gonna end up reading nothing more. I'm gonna end up going through finding myself not wanting to read, because non-fiction sometimes are hard to keep up with. Like while fiction, you follow a story, you get into it, non-fiction can be a little bit tricky, especially when we're talking about this type of books. And so usually what I do is I read a chapter or 2 from the non-fiction one, and then I move to the fiction one. This is why there's so much color. The reading tracker, I've said it before, I read each single day for the month, so I don't see what more I have to say about this one, honestly. And now I'm gonna move to the different spreads that are created for the books, and I'm gonna try to not talk too much about them, first of all because it's a flip through and I don't want to give any spoilers, and second because I'm recording this video in January, honestly. I am not sure I remember everything that I would have loved to say about all the books. This book, oh my gosh, where do I start from? I started it, it was a little bit creepy at the beginning, yes, but I was really into it, I was loving it, up until around, let's say, the 50% of it. Then, for me, it started being boring. It started seeing the same thing over and over again, things like, you don't have to do this, or else you're gonna learn from your mistakes, you won't have a second chance. Instead, the main character does exactly what she shouldn't do, doesn't get such a big punishment out of it, and then she always gets a second chance that then end up being the 56th chance, I would say, and that quite of left me a little bit disappointed. And this was the book that was picked up for the Chamber Book Club, and who already Reddit said, don't worry if you're not gonna understand everything, it's normal, you're gonna understand it throughout the book with the main character. The mystery that's around the whole thing, it's there for a reason, but you're gonna understand it. Here's the thing, I liked the mystery thing, so not knowing exactly what was supposed to happen, how it was going on, how it was possible. But here's the thing, when the main character realized stuff, I was like, no, sorry, I'm not getting it. Like, when I was supposed to understand things, I wasn't. And this kind of disappointed me a little bit. So it ended up being a 3 stars and up for me. I don't think I'm gonna read the second and third. I definitely don't think so, because honestly, I don't care. Like, if it would have been all like the first part, I would end up keep on going with this series. Absolutely yes. But that's just not the case. I've ended up deciding that it was better to finish this and move on to something else, so I just completely ignored the second book, and so goes on. Namesake was the other book. Since I've read Fable last year when it came out in Italy, I wanted to read also the second one, and I can say that I liked this one a little bit more compared to the first one, but however, I'm still missing the chemistry here. I'm sorry, I just have the same problem that I had in the first book. It wouldn't be all fine if it wouldn't be for the romance part, if you want to call it this way. I don't see any chemistry. I'm sorry, I'm just like, why are they still supposed to be together when there's nothing for me? So I was a little bit disappointed with that. However, I love to see the main character going through her relationship with her dad. I definitely loved that part, absolutely yes. It was a lovely read, yes. Is it the book of your life? Absolutely no, but I've ended up liking it more than the previous ones, so I thought it was alright to give to this book 4 stars. Now probably if you're gonna ask me if I still would rate it in the same way, maybe I would say no, but I've said this before, I just don't go back and change ratings because that would mean poor health for me, because if I would have to start, I think I would have to touch almost each single book that I've read in my life. Next book, okay, let's start from the spread itself, because I know it's super full of things, especially stickers, and the reason is because I've ended up creating a sticker sheet for this book. Yes, I've actually done it also for the first book of this series, and this sticker sheet is gonna be available on my shop pretty soon, or maybe by the time that I'm gonna drop this video it's gonna be already there, I don't know. However, you can find always the link to the shop in the description box. And the thing is that while I was reading the book I was coming out with things that would be good to put in the spread for this book. What can I say? First of all, if you want to read this book, don't get fooled by the cover, because the cover is giving you autumn vibes. Absolutely no. This book is set up, I would say, by the end of summer, but it's still summer, so it's definitely not fall at all. Don't make that thing trick you, just don't. I loved it, definitely yes, 4 stars and a half. For me it was so much better compared to the first one. Even if I've ended up liking also the first one, here's the thing, this one gave me so much more. The main character, Hazel, she's definitely going through that moment in life that I think a lot of people go through, which is, okay, I'm turning 30 and I don't know where I am in life. I don't know if I'm doing what I want to do. I'm realizing that I passed years and years and years doing the good things, but what about the bad things? What about enjoying what I was supposed to do throughout my life? So she has this crazy moment, this crisis that she's like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna end up this summer by enjoying it all before I turn 30. And this is the thing, I get what she means, so I was really into this book. And here you're gonna find some stickers that are gonna make you think about the book if you read it, this is a book that was mentioned inside the book. Then there's a birthday cake for her 30th birthdays. The main character, she wears glasses, so why not put in them? Blueberries, the rainbow, to understand that you have to reach almost the end of the book. Then a lot of books because of course. and then the smoothie thing inside a beer cup. I just tried to come out with things that were inside the book. I really loved it, and I just couldn't wait for the third one to come out after I was done with it, because I was really curious about the next one as well. Then it was time for an Italian book, which I don't think it's out in any other language, and it's Bugiarde's Diventa. I liked it, yes, 4 stars, even though the romance part itself wasn't that big. And I realized it by the end, because basically the couple ends up being a couple really close to the end of the book. Before, there is this thing of them trying out but not actually ending up on nothing, because basically the main character signed up to be a fake girlfriend for an actor who's actually gay, and is like, if it's gonna come out, it's gonna ruin my reputation, so apparently my PR team wants me to set up a fake relationship, and you would be perfect because you found out my secret. And she's like, okay, you know what, I'll do it. She decided to do it because in that moment she was like, okay, they're offering me a lot of money. I've just found out that my ex was cheating on me with or other colleague. I've ended up being jobless. I need money. I can't live just with hair, you know. And that's how it all starts, but then throughout everything she realizes that there is a problem with this contract, which is while they are in this fake relationship, and she goes into it with a fake name. This is the realistic part for me, because everybody sees her on red carpets at a certain point, and photos of her and him, and I'm like, people that actually know her in real life aren't like, okay, why they're calling this person with that name? That's you. No, it's crazy, you know. The part wasn't really a well-made one according to me, but I've ended up liking the fact that by the end she realizes that there were problems with this contract, and the first one was that she couldn't be seen with anybody else. She couldn't go into any other relationships. And she was like, okay, but what about the man that I just met New Year's Eve and I end up actually seeing on a daily basis now, and I might have something for him? Well, everything is gonna work out in a way that you're not probably fully expecting. In part yes, in part no. And I definitely loved it, yes. But still, couldn't give more than 4 stars, because I was really like, okay, this will never work in real life. Like, we're not talking about her going as herself, pretending to be the girlfriend. We're talking about her going as a completely came out of her fantasy character, pretending to be in real life a girlfriend of this actor, which is pretty well known. I'm like, it makes no sense. But I enjoyed it. Then I've decided to move to an historical one. I liked it, yes, 4 stars. We're talking about the story of Ellen and Justin. And here's the thing, since the very beginning I knew that there was something that Elena was hiding. I mean, why would you decide all of a sudden to marry a perfect stranger from a newspaper? And keep in mind that we're talking about historical ones, so it's not like today that they could be like, oh, you know what, stalked him a little bit on social media. No. And it was crystal clear she was running from something, but I wasn't expecting so much to be behind her, so her story was definitely interesting. While Justin is definitely that person that can't forgive himself, he's like, if I've done something wrong, I will forever pay for that, I will never forget, I will keep on thinking about that. And I definitely loved to see them two getting together and slowly getting to know each other. I think that I might read the next books from this series, maybe yes, maybe no, also because it's a series, but at the end of the day, each single book will be taken as a standalone, so it's not a problem. I definitely loved her writing style, that for sure, so maybe I will give it a go also to the other books. Then it was time for another Rebecca Ross book, because I loved her other books that I read, yes, like I really love her writing style most of all. Now this should be the Enchanted River, a river enchanted, something like that. I don't recall the correct name in English right now. I loved it, absolutely, yes, and I can't wait for the second one to come out in Italian, because I bought the first one in Italian because it was just so gorgeous. The Italian version is really amazing. I love it. I am a little bit scared, however, because the other series that I read by her were 2 books. The first one was amazing, the second one was a big disappointing one. For the story I'm talking about, not for her writing style, was amazing. Even here I absolutely love it. I just can't wait. I want to see what the 2 main characters are gonna do. I loved almost everything in this book, and I just can't wait. Now, I would love to talk more because it was a 5 stars, but as I said at the beginning of this video, remembering what I wanted to say about books that I've read like in October, it's hard. This is why I shouldn't let so much time go on from a flip through to the other, or better, from the final month to the flip through, because then this is what happens. So yeah, I definitely have to get better. 2025, I really have to get better. I really have to go through November and December, and then I really have to try to keep on track with the flip through and the month, if it makes sense. But absolutely loved it, yes, 5 stars. And in this case, the stickers, these that I've used here, not the circle one, no, but these are from a small shop, Solaris Studios, which you can find on Etsy. Absolutely lovely girl. I think that if you want to give it a try, you definitely should, because she is really nice and she has gorgeous stickers. Last book of the month was this one, Nettle Bone, and honestly, yes and no. 3 stars. I liked it, yes, but was it something that special that I couldn't stop thinking about it? Absolutely no. I'm sorry, probably it's because it wasn't a really long book, but I couldn't grow attached to the characters. And I was like, even the story, I was expecting it to be a little bit, let's say, deeper, if it makes sense. Instead, no. I can say one thing for sure that I thought was that the main character, she isn't a smart girl, poor one. She wants to go and save her sister, and she has a plan, which is actually, I have a plan, which is, I don't actually have a plan. She set up the so-called perfect team to do it, to actually save her sister, but she just is missing how, and everything that goes on from the team is created on. It's basically all on others. All she does is just put these people together and then make them get inside the castle. That's all she does, nothing more. But I've really ended up liking it, like to go crazy over it. No, still I've enjoyed it and I liked it, yes, just not to the level of being like, okay, for me it can be more than 3 stars. It's a solid 3 stars, but that's it. However, if you want to give it a try, you can. It's definitely not a long book, and there are some things that you might find really lovely and enjoyable if you're really into this type of books. For me, I was really a little bit disappointed, probably also because I just didn't feel so much throughout the whole book. So these are the books that I read back in October. I was wondering, have you read them? Yes, no? Do you have them in your TBR? Let me know in the comment, because I would really love to know it. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, remember to give it a thumb up and to subscribe for more videos like this one. Again, thank you so much for your support. See you next time. Bye!